Hello, friends, and welcome back to the new episode of r/IDontWorkHereLady. Today, we have another set of great stories to look at. The first one's about a Karen who can't tell the difference between a store employee and a soldier. My manager is a company commander, but sure, I'll get him. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. This is an old story, probably early 2000s. From the father of my friend. He's now retired, but at the time, he was second in command at one of the infantry companies in the locally stationed Army unit. At the time, he was 6'3", same in width because of lots of muscles. All the names and details in the story are changed as he asked. He was in a grocery store off-duty, wearing jeans and a tan t-shirt. Employees were in all green with their name tags and company logo. He was looking for some pasta for dinner with his wife. He got a free weekend, and it was Friday afternoon. Suddenly, some Karen, blonde-haired, the hair that says, "I want your manager to give me a discount," and pink clothes, she gets behind him. He thinks she's minding her own business and getting something for herself, so he keeps thinking about which pasta he should choose when the lady clears her throat. Well, once is no big deal. Maybe she had a little cough, he thought to himself. Then the second time, louder, so he turns and asks, "Do you want something from me, ma'am?" What an attitude. Where is X brand flour? I don't know. Ask some employee. You really have a nerve. Get me your manager. I want you fired, you lazy jerk. So my friend's dad thought it'd be funny, and since he had a cell number for his commander, who should also be going home today, while the third in command should handle the night shift, and he'd call him in any case necessary. So he called his commander. At the time, Karen looked like she'd already bought the whole store and fired the manager too. "What is it, Joe?" "Yeah, I got a Karen here who'd like to speak to my manager. You mind if I put you on speaker?" "Go on." He was very cool and friendly, and after the situation, he laughed at it too. He put her on speaker. "Ma'am, this is Lieutenant Matthew Smith, commander of the 37th Infantry Company, 2nd Infantry Regiment. May I know what you want from my subordinate?" At this time, Karen instantly got red. Even her clothes changed a little as he said it. She immediately rushed out of the store. It turned out some employee was watching the situation and said to him that this was the 5th time she'd done this sort of thing, and not even once did she ask a proper employee. I don't know if alternate is a proper word. English isn't my first language. Edit. Exchange alternate for subordinate. Thanks for your help. Go grab a box so you can take home your computer. Hey folks, just a short one. This happened 3 weeks ago, just before our city went into enhanced community quarantine. I work in a call center, and my dad works in a call center. Our offices are 2 separate buildings, but are next to each other. He works night shift, I work day shift. I always go over to my dad's office when I arrive so I can catch up with him and we can talk, etc. To the story. I arrive at my office at 6:50 a.m. Shift starts at 8, but my dad gets off at 7. After placing my things in my locker, I go outside. As I go outside, I stop walking to text my dad that I'll be waiting for him in the lobby of his office. This is when I get approached by an employee of his office who we'll call Gary. Gary, "Hey there." Me, "Hey." Gary was silent for a moment, then says, "Did you grab a box already?" "Sorry, what?" "A box. Did you grab one already?" What for?" "Didn't you read the email? So we can start working from home." At this point, I also thought Gary worked in my office under a different account. "Oh, really? Great. Yeah, have IT set it up for you." "Okay, thanks." I start to head back inside our office building. "Wait, you don't work over at generic company name?" No, I don't. I thought you worked over here at a different account." "Oh, no. Sorry about that." And Gary ran off. Never saw Gary again. We did meet with my dad, and I told him about it and had a laugh. Our office did eventually send us home the following week, and now I'm working from home. Not taking trash is sexual assault? First-time Reddit poster here. I don't know if this counts, but oh well. Buckle down for a long explanation. Some background. I'm a plumber, and I'm only 18. I went to trade school for high school and came out with a full-time job as an apprentice. This story took place about 5 months ago and has had me effed up ever since. I was working in a 4-story building inside the city, and there's only one elevator, which we weren't allowed to use because of the companies that worked in the building itself. Then only one spiral staircase, needed for later. My journeyman and I were wrapping up our day and packing up everything, As the younger guy, I was sweeping and taking the loads back down to the truck to get ready to leave, and on one of my last trips, I was only taking a trash bag and a few of the hand tools I hadn't grabbed yet. I'm in my normal work clothes, but my boss isn't strict about wearing company clothing, so I'm only wearing my Dickies pants and a beat-up sweatshirt with no labels. I start walking down the stairs with the trash from the 4th floor to the bottom when a worker, networking/caller helpline company from the 3rd floor, walked out with a trash bag. I briefly walked past, just finishing my day, when she scoffed at me. Me being the kid I am, I turned around and said, "I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. Didn't mean to bump into you," and continued down, and then she said, "Here, take this crap. I got a call I need to get on." I said that I was sorry and I didn't work for the building and it's not my job to take it. So then she exclaims, "You're dressed as a janitor. My son is one too. You just like him. He has the same tools on him all day." I tried to tell her that I didn't and that I'm a plumber working above her on the 4th floor. In retrospect, yes, I could have taken it. But there wasn't one of those giant trash bins to put trash in, so we'd have had to take it back to the shop to dispose of, and we didn't have that much more room in the van. I started to get annoyed, but I just remembered that I need to take deep breaths and walk away. I start going down the stairs when she grabbed the back of my hoodie and yanked it. I spun around like, "What the hell?" And she slammed the bag into my stomach, sending me stumbling down the stairs. This was when one of her co-workers comes out because of the commotion, and she starts fake crying, saying I sexually harassed her, and that she shoved me down the stairs in an attempt to save herself. I tried to say something, getting up, but the guy was on the phone with the cops already, and he took her away to calm her down. I started to get so mad at this woman, but my coworker came to me and said, "Everything will be fine." This is when the biggest blessing ever occurred. My buddy loves to mess with me. He'd take videos of me working or being oblivious, and he'd throw like coins at me to be funny or dump water on me, just as a joke to lighten the day up a bit. Well, he recorded the interaction, and the lady never knew he was there. Reason why the spiral staircase was so important. By the time he made sure I was all right, the cops were there about 10 minutes after the whole thing went down. They talk to the woman, they get her side of things first, then they start questioning me in the stairwell, and my buddy said he witnessed it and had video. He began to show the video to the cop of literally everything. From the moment I began down the stairs and past this lady to her shoving me down the stairs. He talks to her, and from the second he said there was a video, she turned ghost white. They took her downstairs to the cruiser, and the cop came back to me asking if I needed assistance or an ambulance, as I had a gash on my elbow from when I stumbled down. But I was totally fine, just in complete shock. He also asked if I wanted to press charges, and I said I would. In the following time since this happened, I've taken her to court, and she's been charged and is serving time for assault and battery, and another thing I don't recall. What's important to know, as I'm realizing now, is that if there were no cameras in the stairwell, I would have been screwed. Absolutely screwed. It was a huge reality check for myself. I could be sitting in jail serving time for something I didn't do at this very moment. It could have ruined my life, to be quite honest. Luckily, my buddy was there, and ever since then, I've never complained once about him messing around with me. Shortly after this, the building installed new cameras everywhere. Being 5 months later, my parents have been awesome in teaching me about all this stuff, especially since I'm a man and it can get scary with accusations like that. They believe me, and I've always been raised by them to treat women right, and I'm the kid who wouldn't hurt a fly. Disclaimer, I typed this on my phone, and I've sucked at English all my life, so I know the grammar's probably terrible. Stop! You can't leave the tour. Never mind, you work here. In the late 1990s, I was a young college student, working as a summer intern at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, where Mission Control is. I worked in a building that had a lot of offices and labs for programmers and electrical engineers in the front, a big industrial space, a maze with lots of pipes, catwalks, warning labels, with a huge vacuum chamber in the center, and then me in a closet at the back of the building that had been transformed into an office. Each day I would go out to lunch and make my way through the maze. One day, early in my internship, I discovered lots of people taking pictures of the vacuum chamber and making their way out of the building. I merged into the crowd and went out of the building with them. They continued going straight, and I made a left to head to the cafeteria. About 50 feet later, I hear someone shouting, "Come back! You can't leave the tour! You could be charged with trespassing!" I turned around and saw a young woman yelling at me. And then I realized all the people were getting into a tour tram. But then she was able to see I was wearing a badge and said, "Never mind, I didn't know you worked here." After lunch, I talked to my boss, and she explained that Space Center Houston, a museum nearby, ran tours, and our building was one of the stops. She thought it was funny that they thought a tourist was trying to escape. For the next few weeks, I would delay leaving for lunch if a tour group was also leaving the building so that I wouldn't be confused for a tourist and get yelled at. But then later, I started deliberately merging into the group and would then start to run to the cafeteria. When I would hear a shout, I would explain/show that I was an employee. After a week or so of this, all the tour guides knew of me. I wonder if I got a cool nickname. And they stopped getting alarmed. But I could still hear the tourists make a commotion, and that made it worthwhile. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.